Can you believe we started Interview Boss in 2021?
Not really. It's insane. That's a lot of episodes and a lot of hours of talking.
Oh my gosh, it is. And if you're scrolling through all of our episodes, you might scroll straight past something that you really, really needed.
Yes, we're always getting messages from people asking us to do an episode on something, and I'm like, we already have.
So we've put together playlists to help you find the episodes that are exactly what you need, suited to your situation.
They're all categorized. If you're applying for jobs, we have episodes about resumes, cover letters, job ads. If you've been offered your dream job, we have episodes on resigning, exit interviews, and how to impress at your new company.
And we even have a very special playlist that's very popular for if you have an interview coming up immediately and you need just our most recommended hard-hitting episodes between now and then.
For all our last-minute listeners. It's all there for you. You can browse by category and check out all the playlists at interviewboss.com.au/podcast.
So have a look at your Instagram, have a look at your Spotify playlist titles, all of the things that we talked about.
No, I'm not doing that. Do you know what my Spotify playlists are called? They're nothing provocative, but they're just wacky. So I make a playlist every year, title them all, variations of my name, puns. The first one I had was Eminent, spelled E-M-M-A-N-E-N-T. The next one I made was called Imagine, E-M-M-A-G-I-N-E. Yeah, like imagine, but So if they look at my playlist, they'd be like, WTF. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Interview Boss. My name's Emma. I'm a third-year journalism student who's teamed up with my sister to give you advice, inspiration, and support when you're looking for a new job. Sarah is a HR and recruitment professional, and together we're excited to give you guys all the tips, tricks, and behind-the-scenes knowledge to help you in your career.
Hey Em, and hello everyone. This week, we've got something really cool for you guys. We're going to go through the ultimate job search checklist of things that you should do when you're starting out your job search.
That's right. We have made a little beautiful template checklist that you can download at www.interviewboss.com.au. We really just want to make life easy for you guys. It's going to be your one-stop shop. Check off everything on that list when you're about to dive into the job search. We're going to get straight in, starting with number 1 on the checklist. We have get your resume ready. I mean, this is a bit of a given, but what kind of things can people do to make sure that their resume is
we also
ready?
have a resume template that you can download, but you don't have to use that one. Go back and listen to our resume episode. There's tons of tips in there to make sure that your resume's ready and up to date. So pull it out, find it, update it, and then you can kind of check this one off. We've kind of designed this checklist so that as you're going through this, you can feel like you're making progress, even though you haven't necessarily applied for your first job yet. So updating your resumes can take a long time. It can take you, a couple of evenings after work before you feel like it's ready. So step number 1, polish up the resume.
Give it a spruce. Number 2 on our checklist, we have get a cover letter template ready.
Yeah, so we also have a template ready for you if you want that, but you just need to have a base ready to go so that you're not starting from scratch and creating a document when you want to go and tailor your cover letter. Again, we have an episode all about cover letters that you can listen to. I don't recommend that you always submit a cover letter, but you at least need to have a bit of a starting point because some of the parts will be the same.
Definitely. I always reuse cover letters. I have probably like 3 different types of paragraphs and I just alter depending on what skill they talk about. So get your little bones, get the skeleton of the cover letter there. It'll make life so much easier. And then we have tip number 3, clean up your social media. Tighten your privacy settings. Batten down the hatches.
Yes, that's exactly right. Get ready for your job search. So have a look at your Instagram, have a look at your Spotify playlist titles, all of the things that we talked about.
No, I'm not doing that. Do you know what my Spotify playlists are called? They're nothing provocative, but they're just wacky. So I make a playlist every year or maybe like twice a year. And So it's like a big thing. I make a big playlist and I'm just set. Like, I hate doing it. Anyway, but I title them all variations of my name, puns. So if I go I'll show you. So the first one I had was eminent, spelt EMMANENT. The next one I made was called Imagine, EMMAGINE.
Imagine.
Yeah, like imagine, but imagine. And then the next one I had was Immaculate, spelled EMMACULATE.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's so good. And then
Are these like your theme for the year?
No, I've been doing these since
Were you feeling immaculate?
No, I've just been doing these since 2018 and I just had to come up with more. Then the next one was 1 in a million. That
one's not as good.
It's not as good. I still think it's good though. And then the next one I have is emergency. Emergency.
No.
So if they look at my playlist, they'd be like, WTF. By all means, have a look.
None of those are red flags. So
what do some people have as theirs?
Well, we talked about this in our social media episode. With,
I actually haven't listened
Bianca
to the
Lager
whole episode.
Well, there you go. You've missed out. When I spoke to Bianca Lager from the Social Intelligence Corp, they do social media background checking for employers. And she said, there's like 6 or 7 different profiles out there that you have that you may not actually realise that you're leaving, your mark on the internet. So Spotify playlists, like your Amazon wish list was another one that she said, obviously a bit more American. Yeah, but imagine what you could have in there.
Why is that public for people to see? Like, surely isn't that just within your own account?
Well, again, this is why we're saying clean up your social media and think about all those other places that make sure that you maybe put your Spotify playlists on private if you've got, a Making Babies playlist. Maybe you don't want to have that out
there. That is enough. All right, let's move on. Tip number 4. We have update your Seek profile in caps locks. Yes, fill in the employment section.
So have you ever been asked by Seek when you've been applying for jobs, Em, to complete your profile? Have you seen those things?
I don't think so. I haven't really applied for that many jobs through Seek.
Or the TV ads. They have TV ads where the lady sprays out pink stuff and it's get found on Seek. Anyway, Seek have clearly spent a lot of money trying to build up their kind of Seek profile system. And as an employer, they sell access to that information to employers. So you may not know this, but every single time a company posts a job, they get access to what's called Seek Talent Search, which means that they can search all of the active profiles on Seek by keywords. They can look at when it was recently updated, all sorts of stuff. And they get credits with the job that they post to be able to contact people and invite them to apply for the job or to even just download their resume straight off Seek without you even having applied for anything.
Seeking. They hunt you down.
Yes. Now, it's certainly not the majority way that people find jobs. It's still most people apply for jobs and they're found that way. But this is one of those things that once you set it up and you tick that box, your details are out there and it increases the chances that someone's going to reach out to you. So I've said in caps, fill in the employment section because it's one of those really annoying things where you have to upload your resume and then it asks you, what was your most recent job? And then you've got to type it all out when it's all in your resume already. And it's super annoying. I know it's so annoying when they ask you to retype the information. But in this case, I think it's worth it because as an employer, when I see your profile, it might say E. Smith and it might not give me your whole name and it would say profile updated 3 months ago. So I'm okay, maybe she's looking for a job. That's good. And I might filter by only the people who've updated their profile recently. And then I'll be able to see your most recent employer, but only if you filled it in. And sometimes I go through the Seek Talent Search and you can actually see people who've typed refer to resume, which is cute, but I can't see your resume. So I'm not going to contact you if I've got nothing to go on. So fill out your whole Seek profile. Yes, it's what they want you to do, but there's a chance that someone might reach out to you and invite you to apply for their job.
And that's what we want. Moving on to tip number 5, we have create an account on Indeed and upload your resume. Now, Indeed is like another Seek. Is that right?
Yeah, so there's a slight difference between the two. So Seek is a job board. Indeed is a job search engine. So what Indeed try and do is they get jobs from every single location. So if you have a company website and you post your job on your company website, you don't send it anywhere. It's just on your website. Indeed will go and find it and take it and put it on Indeed. They do that for free.
Thanks,
so you don't
Indeed.
have to pay anything.
Out here doing God's work. Wow. Love
They
you.
even ask people to like take photos of like help wanted signs in cafes and stuff and upload them. Their mission is to have every job in the world on Indeed. So globally, they are the biggest player. Here in Australia, they are not the biggest player. Seek has definitely the monopoly, but Indeed is big. So again, similar concept here. They have an ability for you to create a profile. Do that. They are starting to sell access to Indeed search for you to search up candidates. And the more that they sell that, the more employers are going to use it, the more chance you have of being searched up and reached out to.
Fantastic. Moving on to our checklist item number 6, we have update your LinkedIn profile to open to opportunities. Now, if you're not a LinkedIn expert, head to our LinkedIn episode because we had Karen on the pod and she was an absolute powerhouse, just a fountain of knowledge that we were drinking from.
It's a long one, but there's so much in it.
But it's worth it. But for those that might not know, what does changing it to open to opportunities mean? Is that just a setting? It then pops up that they're like actively hunting.
Yeah, exactly. So it means that recruiters can see that you're open to opportunities. It doesn't go on your profile or anything. You might have seen like the people who have that green thing on their profile picture that says open to work. That means that's like a pandemic thing of like, hey, help me out, maybe connect me with someone. This open to opportunities is private. It's in the background. It's existed since the beginning of LinkedIn, modern LinkedIn at least. And it means recruiters, when they're searching you, they can see that you're open to them reaching out to you. And again, it just increases the likelihood that someone will reach out to you. I'd also say you obviously you shouldn't, it's not worth doing this unless you've got a LinkedIn profile and also it's up to date. Like have a look at the photo, have a look at, what your most recent job is, make sure it matches your CV, spend, an hour just freshening it up.
Moving on, we have follow the companies you want to work for and like their posts. We're trying to slide into their DMs.
Yeah, this is on LinkedIn as well I'm talking about. So obviously not relevant if you don't use LinkedIn. You could probably do this on Facebook and Instagram and things
probably
like that
too. Probably a little bit more weird.
But it's specifically going to be helpful. You can just follow them on, nobody's going to know. But it's very specifically helpful on LinkedIn. So what happens is if I'm searching for, let's say, a marketing manager, and I'm searching on LinkedIn because I've got a recruiter license and I'm trying to find someone for that job. And you might come up, Emma, and it says Emma Smith, marketing manager at McDonald's. And I might say, oh, cool. Okay, Emma looks kind of good. And I see that you follow my company. It will put you at the top of my list because you're warm kind of thing. So basically you can filter and it's like all these 100 people match my search, but you're up in the top 5 because you have already engaged with my company. And so basically it's LinkedIn's way of telling me Emma might be more open to working for you and to you messaging her engaging. Because she's already liked your company. Exactly. So go through and find the companies that you'd be interested in working for, follow them on LinkedIn. And if they post something, give it a like. You don't have to comment on it, but just engage with their stuff, see what they're doing. But the main thing is to become a follower of that company because that will help you if you're appearing in recruiter searches.
Fantastic insider knowledge here. I love this. Getting the inside scoop. Regular folk would never know that.
Yeah. This isn't your average checklist. This is the ultimate checklist.
Yeah, true. We didn't title it the ultimate checklist for nothing. Moving on, we have networking. We have a whole episode on this, so we don't need to dive in too much. Go back and listen to that. But start your networking. If you're about to job hunt, talk to people. Tell them you're hunting. Reach out to contacts you know. Throw yourself in there.
I would challenge you to go for one kind of informational interview, like a coffee catch up with someone. It's you reach out to them, maybe, you know, through a friend or on LinkedIn or, you know, through another channel, and you just ask if you can have a chat to them about their career and ask them some advice. I'd encourage you to do that at least once in your career. And if you're listening to us, let us be the reason. If someone asks you, oh, why did you do that? Just blame us. Just say, the interview boss girls made me do it. And if it's terrible, well then whatever, you know, you wasted
terrible,
an hour
you drank
of your
a
time.
yummy coffee.
Exactly. But best case scenario, maybe it gets you a contact that eventually gets the job.
We love that. Next we have connect with some recruiters.
Yes. So this can be in a couple of ways. So you might see recruiters advertising on Seek, and you might see their phone number down the bottom. Give them a call. Find out who the recruiters are in your industry, whose names keep popping up, who's got a good reputation, who do you connect with over the phone, because you can have, you know, a great recruiter, but if they're too busy for you and they never return your calls, you're not going to get much out of them. So I'd encourage you to find a couple of good recruiters that you really like. And if you listen to our recruitment agency episode, maybe you want to go all in with one recruiter, or maybe you want to have two that you really like. You can even follow, you know, some recruiters on LinkedIn. They will actually post their jobs out on their page. So I follow a couple of HR recruiters who've all reached out to me over the years and stuff, and you see their posts, and they'll actually post HR manager role, North Sydney, brand new company, and they'll list the salary on there too. So if you see that post, they might not have even gotten ready to put that online yet. They might just have quickly thrown that up on LinkedIn before they actually post the ad. And if you're already connected with them, you can be like, hey, Sophie, let's have a chat. What's this role that you've just...
Early bird gets the worm.
Yeah, and if you're already in their network, you're going to see that kind of stuff. So connect with some recruiters. Also, benefit that we talked about in our LinkedIn episode, you get access to their network too. So all the people they're connected with become your second level connections. So you can view more profiles that way.
This is so complex. It's like family tree shit. Like your second cousins,
one
links,
removed.
Connect.
Yeah, that's
yeah. Wow.
That's exactly it.
I
Like
love
degrees
this.
of separation is kind of how LinkedIn works. Yeah.
Amazing. Do you know what's it called? My friend was telling me about it the other day, like the 6th law of something or other, that like is this theory that states you could know anyone in the world by 6 contacts or something.
7 degrees of separation.
Yeah, that's it. It boggles my mind, but I kind of get it, because how often do you meet someone random that you're like, oh my God, that's my cousin's uncle's neighbor? Like how that happens to me so much. So I kind of believe it. Like maybe I'm connected to someone in Kenya by 7 people that I know. Like what?
Definitely. Surely someone you know, it would probably be less than 7. Probably someone you know someone really cool who's traveled a lot, and they've traveled to Kenya and they know someone. Easy, done. Like
what? It boggles my little brain. Anyway, irrelevant. Moving on, our 4th last checklist point here, we have sort out your references. This sounds so lame. We've plugged our own podcast about 5 times in this checklist, but we do have an episode. Just last week we dived in completely to references, so we won't repeat ourselves too much. But it's important. You don't want to be that lame person that gives a reference.
Yeah.
Their employer calls up and they don't give a great reference, or they say, sorry, who are you calling for? It's not a good look. Come on, sort them out. Ask them in advance before you're going to be applying for jobs. Don't apply for jobs and then say, oh, can you be my reference? I already put you down and they're going to call you tomorrow. No. Get organised. Yeah. Make it happen.
And totally understand, you know, we're plugging all stuff that other episodes that you can very much go and listen to, but what we're doing here is we're putting it in order, and we're giving you a checklist so that you can, if you're a list person, and I know you out there listening, if you're a list person, you're going to like this, because you can download this PDF, have it on your phone, and when you open up your little PDF on your iPhone or whatever phone, you can put the little pen thing on and literally tick off each thing as you've done it, and you can feel accomplished in your job search, because this is getting a new job is like, it's a big deal. It takes a long time, and you're going to feel satisfied that you're giving yourself every single chance by downloading this and going through these steps.
Third last on our list here, we have understand your salary expectations. This is a big one, and I feel like one that might scare some people. But rest assured, next week we're going to release an episode on salary expectations, negotiation. We're going to dive right in. Might be a long one. We're going to really go ham on that one because there's so much to talk about. So until then, though, give us some brief tips. How can they understand their salary expectations? What if you have no idea?
Well, if you have no idea, you're probably in a position where, like, for example, yourself, Em, if you're looking to get that first kind of grad job, you're probably in an environment where you're just going to take what they give you in terms of salary.
Yeah.
You're more got to get your foot in the door, right? So that's great. Easy. Done. You don't have to worry about it. If you are already in a role and you're paid, say, $60,000, and you're looking for a role and you know that you don't really want to move unless it's more than that, right? So what does that mean for you? Does it have to be 65, or would you only move for 70? You need to really understand this before you actually see the job. And I think some people kind of think, oh, it depends on the job. Yeah, maybe it does. But what is that floor number for you that you won't go below? I think you need to come to terms with that ahead of time, so that when the salary negotiation stuff comes up, you've already pre-decided, no, I did say to myself, I'm not going to take anything less than what I'm on. So, I will negotiate with that, or I will turn down the role, or I won't apply, or whatever it might be. I think this is really important. If you've got a goal for salary that you want to meet, work out what that is as well. If you want to get a 10K pay rise or a 15K pay rise, okay, work out what that number is, and write that down.
Fantastic. Now, this next dot point we have is ambiguous. I'm going to need you to explain this a bit more. It says go shopping. Now, what are we doing? Are we going on a shopping spree because we're doing so well? Are we going to buy interview clothes? What are we doing?
We're buying interview clothes.
Yay. You've made it. Go and buy some,
I think,
power pants and a power suit.
Well, this is something that I've never done before. And in hindsight, I just think I always feel good in a fresh new outfit.
Who doesn't?
Rather than pulling something out of the back of your closet, an old blazer that you haven't worn, or a skirt that you haven't worn all year. Your interview outfit that you wore last time you went for a job 2 years ago. Go and get yourself a new piece of clothing for your interview outfit. It doesn't have to be a whole outfit. Maybe it's a new pair of shoes. Maybe it's a blazer. Invest in yourself. You're going to spend a lot of time doing this. And if you have like a really nice outfit to go to, whether it's like a jacket or a new shirt for guys or a new tie, whatever that is, you're going to feel more confident in your interviews. And confidence is one of those key kind of first impression things that people really pick up on. And let's face it, the rest of the job search is going to be hard. You're going to be applying for jobs at night. It's stressful. You're going for interviews. You're waiting to hear back from people. You probably don't like your job because otherwise why would you be applying for jobs?
All right, that was very doom and gloom. It's not. That sounded horrific.
Yeah, but I'm saying make it fun.
Yeah.
Go shopping.
Can we just talk about...
add a little bit of a fun thing in there.
I personally believe that shopping for work clothes is absolutely miserable because, one, they're so fucking expensive for what? Number two, I hate them. Even if I buy, a nice set of work clothes, nice within the work clothes realm, they're still not nice within my normal idea of what nice clothes are. It's not to my taste. So it just feels like the biggest waste of money being great, I'm wearing this during the week to work. I just hate it. I'm never going to wear these clothes and they suck. Maybe I'd feel different if I was a full corporate lady.
What about a nice blazer?
No. Yeah, maybe I'd feel different if I was a full corporate gal because I guess you're spending more time in these clothes than you're not. But for me, who's not quite yet in the corporate world, if I have to buy interview clothes or placement clothes, I'm this is actually depressing because I hate this.
Okay, so what did you wear to your last interview? Paint us a picture.
I wore a white little blouse with 3 wooden buttons down the middle, those tops. And then I wore my sister's, our middle sister Annie. Thanks, Annie. Love you. It was the night before and I had nothing to wear. Red, culotte, a nice high-waisted red
Ah,
culotte.
yeah.
Yep.
So if you owned a pair of those pants,
I would never wear
would you
them.
not wear them?
No, absolutely not. Have you seen what I wear? I wear baggy jumpers, boyfriend jeans, and Air Force Ones everywhere. I would never be caught dead wearing a red culotte, ever.
What about the top? What about that?
Yeah,
white
I
blouse?
wear it
Would you
to
not wear
my...
that?
No, I wear it on Wednesdays to my newsroom class because I have to interview people, so I wear it then. But no, I would never simply wear that kind of thing. Anyway, shout out to anyone else
Right,
that never
well,
dresses like that.
There you go.
It sucks paying money for that.
Well, there you go. The fun thing on the list, and you've just absolutely shot it down.
Yeah, well,
You just,
some people
you know,
might find
you're
it
not going to
fun.
enjoy
I'm
it.
not going to. Maybe I'll go shopping for
Well,
for a job
maybe-
search reward, like something else.
Maybe if you had an interview outfit that you actually liked, that felt like you,
Maybe it would.
maybe
yeah,
you wouldn't hate it so much.
This is true, but I also hate shopping.
That's my challenge to you.
I hate shopping though, so I'm not going to be committed to going to find that. Anyway, moving on. Our last
Yeah.
checklist. That was
I don't know how we're related.
Yeah. Our last checklist, we have track your applications. We have talked about this a little bit before, but there is nothing worse than if you've applied for 5 million jobs, someone calls you and you don't even know what company they're from, what the job is, let alone can you answer why you want it because you were just in a job search rampage the night before. So keep tabs, have a list of what you've actively applied for, maybe write down the time period in which they said you could hear back, so you know, okay, in 2 weeks I'm going to be expecting a call from Coles, blah blah blah. Track your applications.
Yep. I created a little notes in my let me start that again. I created a note in my notes app in my phone, just with the job that I applied for, what date I applied, what was the company, a few dot points about the job, and a link to the actual ad as well. Because if you get a phone call, you're going to want to look back at that ad. Now, Seek will actually save them for you on the one if you've got an account, so you can go back and look at those. But I'd encourage you, we'll do another episode about this one day, but I'd encourage you to not just apply on Seek. Look on Indeed as well. Look on Jora. Look on LinkedIn. Look on other places as well. Advertising on Seek is expensive. Shout out Seek. Love you guys. So not every employer will put every single job onto Seek. So there may not be everything on there. So don't exclusively go with them, and make sure you keep a list so that you know
Also, what about
who's calling
what
you.
about the local paper if you live rurally? Because my last employer put an ad in the paper. So, like, no, seriously, if you're hiring a job for someone that's like middle aged, the paper's where it's at for that demographic, So if you live in rural or regional New South Wales, we hear you,
Get
we
the
see
paper.
you because we're from the country. Get the paper. You never know.
Once upon a time, I put an ad in the paper for a job that we were hiring for. And we also did a billboard as well for a job that we were hiring for. Neither of those two things worked at all. But it was a very old school people sitting around being like, what about an ad in the paper? It's so expensive and it just doesn't work. But some people still do it. And what I will say, if you do see an ad in the paper and you do like the job, they are really desperate for people because they've put an ad in the paper.
Yeah, jump on that. Wrapping up this episode, we've given you heaps of insider knowledge, lots of tips about Seek and all the little ways that you can improve your findability. Is that a word? I'm going with it. Anyway, download our checklist at www.interviewboss.com. It is your one-stop shop to make sure you are totally prepared for the job search. And we'll be back in your ears next week.
See ya.
Bye.
Thanks so much for listening to Interview Boss. If you want to hear more from us, make sure you hit subscribe. We're a new podcast, so if you liked this episode, we'd really appreciate it if you could give us a review so we can help even more people. For more advice, inspiration, and a supportive community, join us in the Interview Boss Facebook group.
If we've been your job search besties and helped you in some way, there's a cool way you can support the show. Shout us a virtual coffee.
We get a huge kick out of reading all of your success stories. Head to buymeacoffee.com/interviewboss and shout us a cuppa.
If you keep us caffeinated, we can keep the content coming.